All right, guys, what is up? You already know what time it is. It is a Coffee with Friends podcast, episode number Cuba Lasers. In 3, 2, 1, boom! Hey, it worked.
Countdown.
It worked.
That's annoying.
We're figuring out as we go that when you do certain things like a thumbs up, give it a second. Give it a second. Watch. It'll do it. It'll do it.
It's because it's reversed.
It'll do it. Those of you who are not watching the video are probably confused. There it is. Oh, wow. Confetti. Look at that. Crazy. So we're figuring out that our hand movements, those of you who are not watching, go to YouTube or Spotify so you can see what we're saying here. Without context, it probably makes no sense.
For sure.
But apparently our hand movements make certain animations. So we got to be watching out for that now.
I wonder what made the fireworks.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what we did. We have to go back and check it out. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. We are on episode number 12, I believe.
12.
We're out here. Tweens.
Yeah.
Next episode, we'll be heading to the teens.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
thank you guys for being here with us and watching, listening, streaming on whatever platform you consume podcast content. We thank you guys for all the questions you guys have sent us. Just for all the love. And support. We have seen and noticed that you guys really enjoyed episode 10, which was a fun one to record.
It was fun.
Talking about part 1 of our story.
Fun to talk about how right I am.
Yeah, and reminisce on the good old days. And then the last episode was really fun too, talking about a topic that we are passionate about and really care about, which is creativity. So that was really, really good and really fun. But today we'll be going into another topic. Of course, we'll be revisiting probably part 2 of our story, maybe on episode 20 or something like that. We'll see. And we'll continue having other conversations with creativity and stuff like that. But today, what are we talking about?
Today we are going to talk about response versus reactivity.
Love it. So, for those of you who don't know what it is, what is it?
A response. I think response is like something that takes time. Like you think through a response.
It's something you process.
Yeah, you process. Reactivity is just like intuitive. Like it's just
in the moment.
In the moment.
In the moment.
Yeah.
Kind of like first reaction. You react.
Reaction. Yeah.
Reactive,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, now why are we talking about this? What is all this mumbo jumbo? What are these words? They're important because reactivity and response is something that we all deal with and we all experience on a daily basis. I mean, we react and respond to things constantly.
Yeah.
If you make choices throughout your day, you partake in this.
Yeah.
If you have friends and family and people that you interact with, you partake in this. We are all reactive and or responsive. I would say that maybe some of us probably maybe lean towards one more than the other.
Correct.
But we all definitely do both, I would say.
I would hope. I think I think there's a balance.
Definitely.
I think that there should be a balance between the two, for sure. Because you don't want to just, I don't know. I think it could be boring to just be responsive.
Yeah.
And it could be reckless to just be reactive.
Yeah.
I think they both have both pole. Like if you just went one way, it could just, I don't think it would like mesh well.
Yeah.
I think it would just be like could take a negative effect in your life. I think it almost feels like almost has a parallel to like risk taking and playing it safe.
Yeah. I agree. I think there's a duality of it, which that's actually a great topic I'd love to talk about. I actually wrote my apologetics paper in college was about the concept of duality, which, I love that topic. But it is essentially that, the whole like there's it's a coin, 2 faces. It's a sword with two edges. And we all kind of, again, either gravitate to one or the other, but we use it all the time.
Right.
And sometimes without even realizing it.
Yeah. Sometimes
I think
it's just subconscious.
Yeah, it's instinctual, right? So it's like there's moments where you are just automatically reactive because that's just what comes out in the moment, and either you're in a fight or flight situation.
Correct.
I would say you probably have a lot of things to say about this with like your job and stuff, like how it's the psychology of people. Well, actually, it's fight, flight, fawn, and there's one more, right?
Fight,
What's the
flight,
last one?
fawn, freeze.
Freeze. I was about to look it up. Yeah.
Freeze.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Correct. So we all deal with one of those four now. Used to be just those two, but I feel like it kind of plays into the same type of role in that sense of reactivity, I think, in response. But again, why are we talking about this? Like, why is this important? Well, because I feel like if we want to be as intentional and healthy with our relationships with ourselves, with making decisions, like big life decisions, financial decisions, relational decisions, like we have to have a good grasp and concept of reactivity versus response. Knowing when to identify it, one, and two, knowing when to use them, I would say. Knowing when I would say one, knowing if you are more of a reactive or responsive person. One, two, realizing when you use it or not, like being self-aware. We're obviously a big, we talk about that a lot, self-awareness, and things like that. But I think that this is an important conversation because I think it gives us one, language for things that we maybe didn't know we had or dealt with. But two, I think it helps us become more aware of how we interact with people and make our choices.
Yeah. Sure.
So, with that being said, let me ask you: do you think do you lean more to one rather than the other?
I think it depends. I think with people who I am comfortable with, I can be more reactive than responsive. For sure. I think with you, I have definitely had moments of being more reactive and just like right off, like out the gate, explosive.
Yeah. Which is a lot of people in relationships and in marriages.
Correct.
You can be very reactive. Yeah.
Yeah. Not super healthy, but
no.
I think with time, we've both kind of learned how to be less reactive and more responsive and definitely. Kind of letting whatever that looks like play out and taking time. I think with relationships that I am more kind of still growing and building, I'm more responsive because I want to be mindful. Or more mindful, right? I read the encyclopedia of TikTok. I read this article that was like your best friends let you be the worst version of yourself. Like that's the difference between friends and best friends. Is that your best friends let you be the worst version of yourself while always still wanting you to be the best version of yourself, but they give you that space to be the worst.
Good.
And I think like regular friendships, you kind of are a little more reserved because like you don't know, and so like and I think in the same, like this would apply in like response versus react, is that like you feel more, it's not comfort, but you know that like you have this foundational trust and like it doesn't matter, like at the end of the day, like you and I were gonna fight and we're still gonna come to a place, whether it's gonna be having a hard conversation or just kind of like a little bit talking through a little bit, or even sometimes just kind of being like, it was not even worth it, let's just kind of like throw it out and start over because it was probably something really silly. And I think in that sense the same respond and react is kind of why sometimes I think in relationships I'm still trying to like nurture. I am more mindful because I want to get to the place where I feel the freedom to just, if that was the case, and not feel like absolutely garbage after, like definitely. Still knowing that there is a solid foundation. I think if we're going to apply it to life in general, I'm more reactive Like if it comes down to like decisions, finances, doing things, I'm more reactive. I'm more like somebody suggests something, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
Then I am responsive. I'm not like, I don't know, let me think about it.
Yeah.
I think that's boring.
Do you think that there's a correlation between externally processing and internally processing? Because the way I view it, because I agree, and I wouldn't put myself in one or the other. I think I'm fluent in both. I'm fluid in both, but because I'm an internal processor and an introvert at heart, I would probably be and lean more towards responsive.
Sure.
Because it takes time.
Right.
Right. I mean, for example, we did this culture index thing, and in it when it was assessing me and my personality and stuff, it was saying that because I'm an internal processor, I need time for me to be the most effective and most efficient in meetings or working with people. I need to be given questions ahead of time to think. So that I can come to that meeting or conversation with ideas rather than be put on the spot. Could I be put on the spot and talk? Absolutely. I do it all the time. But I prefer having like the question prior.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I would say, okay, do you think maybe there's a correlation between that? Like being an internal processor, maybe you're a little bit more responsive rather than being reactive as maybe an external processor because it's in the moment, kind of like that. Maybe people lean more towards there. Do you think there's a correlation?
I think that there could be. I think also it's very situational and very like there is a big emotional piece, I think, that plays into reactivity and response, right?
Definitely.
And I think you're right. Like, you know, I think introverted people process emotions differently than extroverted people, right? And I think sometimes like reactivity can be someone who processes externally response. Or just trying to process that could be misconstrued as like negative reactions. But it could just be just like trying to assess and like compute and process out loud. But the thing I think sometimes with people who process externally is I think that they have big emotions. I think they're more visual emotions. I think more, and I'm not saying, guys, I'm not a professional. I'm just like talking from like experience and knowing people, right? Is that people who are a little more extroverted and process externally, emotions seem bigger, but only because introverted people are more like reserved and inward. And it could look more reactive, but it could be response. I think definitely there's a big emotional part to response and reactivity.
I would agree. I think there's a lot of truth to that. And that's kind of why I asked you that question, because that was kind of the thought I had was when thinking about this topic, I'm like, again, for me, I would consider myself a little bit more responsive. But then again, there's many situations where I'm extremely reactive. And I think that's the beauty. And you've heard us talk about this multiple times, you know, with our opinions on like the Enneagram and the Myers-Briggs and everything that has to do with personality science, which some of it is science, some of it is pseudoscience, let's be honest. But is the fact that we don't really like labels, right? And now this is me being contradictory, the Enneagram 4 in me or whatever, being like, I don't want to be labeled, but it's really not that. It's the sense that I really, again, we firmly believe that people are multifaceted, and it's kind of, I don't know, you're selling yourself short, right? Just thinking you're one or the other. So yeah, I think it depends on the situation. Going back to the fight, flight, freeze, fawn thing, I think that in my personal life, and I would assume a lot of us, the majority of us, unless you're like an OG and you're like some, you know, beast main character type energy, I think the majority of us are extremely reactive when in flight and fight and fawn and freeze situations. Like, I think that's where the reactivity comes into play. Like, and I think I would actually go further and say that those that your reactivity can be then put in one of those 4 categories.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you'll either react with fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And if I were to go even deeper, I would probably kind of like split those 4 into 2 groups based on response, and react. Like I would say like fight and flight is more of a reactive response, and I would say fawn and freeze is more of a responsive response. If I were to kind of like divide them, yeah, like that's more of like a responsive thing. And I think fight and flight is more like a reactive thing. But again, I could be wrong. Maybe it doesn't have to be that, whatever. But
fawn is one of the least spoken of.
Yes.
It's always fight, flight, freeze.
And freeze, yeah.
Fawn is kind of this like little hidden letter.
Yeah.
In the chart of trauma responses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know what it was at all until I came into the work field that I'm in. I didn't even know it existed. I just
I didn't know either.
No. So just to kind of, for those of you who don't know what fawn is, I'm kind of going to go through the 4 and then we can see like how they fit. Because I agree. I think I agree with what you're saying. I just want to give a little context to like what fawn is, because
I didn't know it either.
Yeah.
Like the full, like I don't even think I understand the concept, but I don't even know the full definition.
So fight is direct confrontation of threat, which I mean, it's obvious.
That one's pretty easy.
Yeah. Couldn't be physical, verbal, whatever it is. Flight is running away. Like it's kind of just what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Freeze is kind of paralysis, stalling. And it is more where you would think of what to do. And fawn is an unconscious attempt to appease or please the threat in order to keep yourself safe.
You succumb to it,
which could be conflict avoidance, neglecting healthy relationships, or being in a relationship with people who have unrealistic expectations.
That one's, I think,
a lot of people pleasers fall into fawn.
Yes,
I think a lot of us have been there. It's okay. It's okay. You're good. It happens.
Xiomi is considered on these things, whatever personality things, as like the woo people pleaser person. So
I am a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I'm getting better.
You are.
I'm getting better. I've grown a lot. Look, since we met.
Oh my gosh.
Since we met.
We'll save that for part 2 of our story.
I'm better.
Yeah. No, but I.
But it's also okay.
Yeah,
We're just people.
And that's the thing. Like it's again, everyone's so different.
But
you know. But
I think
the definition was really interesting.
Yeah. So I do think that freeze and fawn are your responsive, and then fight or flight are more reactive, just kind of immediate response.
Yeah.
So I think you're. I
think
I hadn't really like put them in that.
And that's
like
kind of
spot,
me. Yeah.
But.
That was me processing it in the moment,
yeah.
but I think that's a really simple way of kind of like separating them into groups. But, you know, I think, again, there's people who are way smarter than us, probably have science behind it or psychology behind it. But that's kind of the way I would view it. But it's interesting because, you know, when you read the definition of fawn, you know, my understanding was, to succumb to something.
Yeah.
But that's kind of more of like a just broad thing. But it was interesting, like, all the different I think it's the most complex out of the 4.
A little bit, yeah.
Reaction or response, whatever. It's the most complex because it's not just like succumbing to something. It's also in a way manipulative, and you can kind of use it in the way of this. It's a survival thing.
Yes.
All these things are survival responses, but it's almost like it's very complex in the sense that you're kind of manipulating the situation to survive. Like you are trying to survive, so you're doing what you can to make your threat think that you're not a threat.
In my field, fawn is common.
Yeah.
And like that's probably one of the more common responses.
Yeah.
Because there's a threat.
Yeah.
So like fight, the examples they gave is like you fight the bear, you run from the bear, you freeze, or you feed the bear.
Yeah, you feed the bear. And that's what I think was so interesting about that one. Is that I think it's the most complex. The other ones are just very like, okay, it is what it is. It's self-explanatory, but like that one is very
fight,
complex.
flight, and freeze are more physical responses, and fawn is a more mental response,
which I find so interesting.
I think what's the word I'm looking for? When it's like instinctual, not barbaric, but it's.
I mean, yeah, it's just a more.
No,
Yeah, it's instinctual. Yeah.
I want the word. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
it's
like,
instinctual. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't think
It's
those
second
are
nature
more like
in that one. Yeah.
Fawn is more methodical.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like you're right.
Yeah, I think that it's really complex and it's fairly new. It's again, that one was added, I would say, recently. I don't think it's been there for a while, but I think that looking at those 4 responses and reactions, I think really kind of add to the conversation of the reactivity versus response, because we all do them, right? And I think, again, step 1 is like you need to understand and be self-aware with yourself and be honest and be like, okay, like which one do I do? Like which one do I resort to? And again, we don't believe in labels. So it's like we do them all.
Yeah.
We do them all.
Yeah.
But again, it's finding the one that you gravitate to, because there's always one that you gravitate to or feel comfortable with or know how to do well, right? Or that's just your go-to.
Yeah. And most of these are based on like personality.
Yeah.
Past experiences play a very big role. Yeah. Right? You see fire, you don't touch it. Yeah. If you've touched it, you know what it feels like. Yeah. If you've never, you try. Mm-hmm. And then some people just fully avoid it. Yeah. So it's just very personality. Yeah. Past experiences have a big effect in all of these. Yeah. And these 4.
And I think when we hear about this, like in school and stuff or whatever, we hear it more from like the context of like danger. Yeah. But I would actually go as far to say that we should and you could use it with interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, we do it every day.
Yeah, like all the time.
We do it all the time.
It's not just there's a car that's heading towards you.
No,
it's like
it's definitely
people.
There's emotional responses to
There's a hard conversation that's heading your way. What will you do?
Oh. I don't know.
Right? It's like
freeze.
It's like
some people fawn.
Exactly.
A lot of people fawn.
Exactly.
Because confrontation is hard.
Exactly. So those of you who don't like confrontation, again, so you can easily apply this. Like 1, are you reactive or responsive? And then 2, go even farther. So step 1 is that. Then step 2 is go out of those 4, which one's your go-to? Yeah. Right? And then I think, because again, I think it's putting language to these things and understanding the nuances behind them and the psychology behind them help you understand why you do what you do. Yeah. And either help you do it better or stop doing it. Yeah. And again, I feel like when we hear about this, again, it's danger, it's, but which is true, but I think it's so much deeper. Yeah. And it can go into,
and mostly they're applied to danger, but I mean, not always just physical.
Oh yeah.
There could be emotional danger. Yeah. And everyone's is different. Yeah. Everyone experiences that a lot different. But for the most part, it's typically always just used for like felt safety.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly, so the felt safety part. And I think that whether you're reactive or responsive is always coming out of that safety, that felt safety, like wanting to be safe and find refuge for yourself.
I think I would love to. I don't know. Mm-hmm. We can decide what we do with this, but I think yesterday we had a good example of.
Oh yeah.
We had a good example of either or both, really, between the 2 of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And.
Yeah, we definitely experienced it firsthand.
Yeah, we did. I think it gave us a little more context for like the conversation today. And like, this wasn't even what we were talking about yesterday at all, actually. And we both kind of came into both of these, like one response, one reactive. And I think it was interesting for me because I'm usually you.
Yeah.
And for context, yesterday we were trying to record the podcast and we were not having a good time. No. And I think I was in the mixture of both. I think at first I was more like trying to be more responsive and thoughtful of the things I said. I was trying to be mindful, and he was from the jump very reactive. And then obviously I got heated. I got annoyed. And so then I started to just react to his reactions. Mm-hmm. And I said things. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let it be.
Yeah.
And I kind of let you have your space to do and say what you needed to say. And I just kind of went along, just kind of kept going with my evening.
Yeah.
And listening to you, say the things that you were saying. Mm-hmm. And I think still wanting to be mindful that I was listening to what you were saying, but not reacting to the things you were saying, because I'm mean. I can get mean.
Xiomi and I know can get very rude, very mean.
I can get mean fast. I try not to. I'm working on it. The Lord is working on my heart. But I think I want to end things so fast. I'm just like, what is the thing I can say that'll stop? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's my immediate reaction. Yeah. It's how I immediately it's how I respond, because I have to think about it. I have to process the information and think about what can I say. And I think yesterday I was more trying to be a good kind of response.
Yeah.
And
this is true. It was flipped.
It was flipped. It's usually me flipping tables and walking around pretty upset.
Yeah.
So I'm working on it.
Yeah, I mean it is interesting though, because it was flipped. Usually it's not like that, and I think again adds on to the whole conversation that you're never just one.
Yeah.
You can shift to the other.
Yeah.
And again, it's usually triggered by your response varying and switching is triggered by what triggered that, what it is.
And a lot, I think, for you, your reaction came from, correct me if I'm wrong, feeling unseen.
Yeah.
And feeling unappreciated.
Yeah.
And mine was coming from I was just I don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I think I felt I feel like I do, but I feel like I could do more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like I could appreciate you more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can appreciate you more, be more vocal about appreciating you. Mm-hmm. But I think yours was coming from this place of being unseen.
Well, because that's a part that all of us hold very,
right there,
very tightly.
And I sometimes feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then that's
at
when
that
you
time,
react that way too.
At that time, I was like, if I go into my thing, well, we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think, I felt a little easier because I understood you. Mm-hmm. I understood your frustration, and I understood what you were saying because I've been there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I still am low-key.
God.
I'm just saying, these meals don't cook themselves.
That is true.
Listen, but
that is true.
Still, no, I understood you, even though you were you don't get me.
Yeah.
That was one of your main statements.
Yeah,
you don't understand. Mm-hmm. And I felt like I understood you well enough to know where it was coming from and how that felt.
Yeah.
And that sometimes it just needs air to breathe.
Yeah.
Because in those moments, nothing, in reactive moments, sometimes nothing you say changes anything.
Oh man.
It's hard. It's trying to give someone who, I'm trying to think of how to say this, but it's
and you give a mouse a cookie.
No, it's trying to give someone, who's having a seizure CPR. You can't. It's not going to help. You have to wait for it to stop, and then you can help, and then you can do something about it. Yeah. Right? But you can't actively give someone who is having a seizure CPR. Yeah. You just got to let the seizure pass. You just got to let this thing pass, and then you can help, right? You just turn them on their side. You make sure they're not biting their tongue. You create safety, make sure that they're going to be physically safe. And then when that's done and over with and it has passed, then you can begin first aid.
Yeah.
But at that moment, your job is to just hold steady and make sure that it's a safe space, and then come in with the first aid.
For those of you who don't know, she actually went to EMT school. So, so she knows what she's talking about.
I try. I'm not.
No, but
that's kind of
that's
what
a
it
great
looks like when
illustration.
you're in a reactive situation.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to
Yep.
help until everyone has had time to catch their
Absolutely. That's a beautiful illustration and explanation of that. Absolutely. And it's funny you say that, because as I was having that conversation, I was having a similar conversation on Tuesday with Ray. Shout out to Ray. Those of you who know Ray, y'all know he's a goat. We were having a conversation, and like we were just kind of like talking about like the whole sense of, you know, a difficult part with and we were talking about marriage, but you can like apply this to relationships as a whole. It's like a difficult part with relationships and people and is the difficulty and the pain and the frustration of wanting to fix something and say something, and you know it's not going to do anything.
You know what that's called?
And being okay with that.
You know what that's called?
What?
The writing reflex. We have to deal with that too. It's a big part of our job.
And a lot of people deal with that. Like I know that's a big one for me. And like we both related to it because he said he was similar. And a lot of you know, just for lack of better, you know, just okay. Well, husbands and men as a whole, because people are gonna throw stones at me for this.
Yeah.
But like husbands and men as a whole want to fix situations. Like they want to get to the answer, and they want to fix things quickly. It's in our nature,
which I hate. Women
as well. Okay, but it's in our nature as men to want to, especially with our women, with our wives and stuff like that, to just always, okay, let's fix it. Let's right. Yeah. And it's wanting to right the wrong without really taking time to be like, okay, is that what she needs right now? Like, does Xiomi need an answer?
Yep.
Does she need space, or does she need my presence?
Like, are you looking for me to give you a solution or tell you that's wrong? Or, guys, I fight with this every time Sam loads the dishwasher. It is a pain. I just, you know, it's a pick your battles, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because I wish y'all could see how he loads it.
I'm a unique. Look, I'm a visionary.
I'm right. Okay, for those of you out there, is there a right or wrong way to load the dishwasher?
There is. I mean, I actually found out that there are specific ways. No, just like on TikTok, I've seen people.
You read an article,
but I just, you know, we all have our own.
He just does it his own way.
We all have our own
and that's
ways.
okay. But man, I have to fight and be. I think we still are. We still kind of something. Yeah. I'm judgmental for sure of his loading and his dishwash. A lot of things actually.
Yeah. But I have a way.
But you know, better that he's doing it than not at all.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's how I soothe. This is how I self-soothe.
And this is great advice for those of you in relationships, engaged, or getting married. Don't get mad at how they do it. Be grateful they
do it. Okay? Unless it's like absolutely
there's nuance to it, right? Yeah. Like if your husband is like putting, you know, aluminum foil in the microwave, like boink his head, bro.
Like if he's trying to cook eggs without oil.
Oh my god!
Please stop it.
Oh my god!
Please teach them to put oil in the pan first.
If they don't know how to make their bowl of cereal, it's different.
Bowl of cereal. Milk first, right?
Yeah. Oh man, look. No. Okay, so
I know,
because we're gonna get to some of these questions at the end of the episode, but for this one,
we're driving
cereal first, milk second. If you do it the opposite way, you know, God bless you. You are a unique individual, but I do not trust you.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Maybe this,
because I know you do it.
This might be.
I know you do it.
You know this.
I know you do it, and that's why there's certain.
Okay, but
why.
But hear me out before y'all roast me.
Oh my gosh, guys!
I grew up in El Salvador. Okay, so when we were having cereal and milk, which cereal was a luxury, okay, we were having tortillas with milk.
That's
low key though, but the tortilla slapped. So
put some sugar on it, or just
little sugar. Right? Oh my god! Shout out, Mom. We got the milk straight from the cow.
Yeah.
You know, and the guy would be like, leche. Yeah. Okay. So I grew up with you have to boil the milk.
But
okay.
that's
So the milk was hot. So I only do milk first if I'm putting it in the microwave to get it warm to eat my cereal with warm milk.
But that's
if you're
different.
a hater and you eat hot oatmeal, I don't want to hear it because it's the same thing. It's the literal same thing.
But I understand that. That
definitely.
I mean, look.
That's the only time I do milk first.
But here's the thing. Like, I would never.
Unless I'm like refilling the old milk with more cereal.
But I also, but that makes sense though. Like, I would never get, like, if I were, for example, I don't know, like a cinnamon toast crunch, right? If I wanted like cinnamon toast crunch with like warm milk, I'm not gonna put both of them in. That's crazy. Like,
it gets soggy. It doesn't work.
So that makes sense.
It doesn't work.
I'm talking about, but we're talking about like straight.
Yeah.
Like no heating up. Like we're talking about like you're getting cold milk and like room temperature cereal.
Yeah.
Which one goes first?
Cereal. I mean, if you're
putting
your
doing
cereal in the fridge, that's crazy.
But are you still doing it?
No.
So it's only when you heat it up.
Depends on how fast I'm trying to go.
I feel like sometimes I've seen you do it.
Sometimes I slip up.
Old habits die hard.
Sometimes I slip up. Sometimes I just.
But I don't even know why you even said
I don't
that.
know. Oh, because we were talking about eggs in a pan, and you were like, you don't know how to make a bowl of cereal.
Anyway, but before that was a whole.
We were talking about. We were talking about.
The whole like with relationships and stuff, and and how like again when I was talking with Ray about the whole like wanting the writing reflex, that is that to me is a reactive response, right? So that is just instinctually that's me wanting to be like, I want to fix the situation, and having to learn. When I was talking with Ray, we were having this conversation of like having to learn when to fix a situation that needs to be fixed in the moment, when to just give you space, and when to give you my presence, right? And like knowing how to do, how to do one at the right moment and all that. So I think like that's a reactive situation, right? Again, if you're an incredible, emotionally healthy and empathetic person, you don't struggle with this. But us real humans do. Us regular folk do. And I think that's why the importance of this conversation is so crucial, because it's in those moments when you're with your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, boyfriend, friend, mom, dad, brother, sister, enemy, that when to do which one. Because both of those work really well for specific situations. Like there are moments where you don't have time to respond. Like you have to react. I deal with this a lot in specific situations, like with my job and like work on Sundays when things go wrong and right. Like I don't have time to be like, let's think about this. No, like it's like we're doing this, we're not doing this.
A choice.
For those of you who work jobs where you maybe have high pressure things like that, whatever, or just in general, right? And then there's moments where, it's, hey, we're going to talk about this. And then you have a day or two to think, and you don't react in the moment and say, this is what we're going to do. It's like, hey, okay, let me get back to you. Let me think about this. So again, this conversation is so broad. It's not just.
Do you think
that
you could have an immediate response? Because you can have a late reaction.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You can be in freeze or fawn.
Yeah.
And then like later down the line be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But could you have an immediate response?
Very interesting, because you're right. There's late reactions.
Like a delayed reaction. But could you have an immediate response?
I think so. I think so. And what I would say is, if you're so going on with the whole like either or, which one you relate to the most. So if you're a responsive person, I think a healthy responsive person will give an immediate response that is healthy. Like that is not just safe, but like is good. It's a wise. It was the right decision, like a good response.
Sure.
So I think it is possible.
Yeah.
I think there's like if you want to go really philosophical and try to make it complicated, I think people can then say, well, wouldn't that be a reaction? But I don't think so. I think there is moments where people can respond to something pretty quickly or immediately. And here's what I would say the difference is. Reaction, I think, doesn't really involve thought, right? It's just kind of boom. It's instinctual, right? Second nature. So I think an immediate response is there was thought, but it was a very quick kind of like the synapses in the neurons in your head and your thoughts came quickly. And I think that there's moments where you can have immediate response. And I would actually say to go deeper and to go into, the Christianese land, if you will, I would say that's wisdom. That's discernment and wisdom. I think that's like when God, like the gift of wisdom and the gift of knowledge and all that. I think people who have immediate responses and they're good immediate responses have the gift of wisdom and discernment. And they can be like, boom, I got you. Yeah. This is what we do. So I do believe that. I absolutely do believe.
I was asking because I thought.
It's a great question, though.
I thought more immediate response comes from knowledge.
Yes, absolutely.
And
knowledge and wisdom.
I think when you know, you have a fast response.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not just a reaction, but there is a knowledge that comes behind a quick response.
Yeah, and
I think if you're an artist, if you're a problem solver, or if you're a builder, you have quick responses to like quick problems.
Yeah.
It's not like if something, when something's falling and you like just kind of react and try to catch it, it's a lot different than that.
Yeah.
I think it's not just like trying to catch it. It's like an actual solution.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't have to be like a solution, it could just be a placeholder for something later down the line. Right. Because I think when, like, if, for example, when dealing with if you're in an agitated situation, a quick response could just be like securing that later on there will be an in-depth conversation about it, or there will be something else. And I think there's where the wisdom piece, discernment, and kind of knowledge, like where they all kind of meet.
Yes,
where they're like, you know what, I can't give a long-term response, but I can make you feel secure enough that your reaction will come down, and then we can have a responsive conversation.
Yeah.
Where we're both like in the same place.
I agree. Yeah. That's a great question. That's a great question. But I agree, and
you were right,
that's kind of what my response would be to that. And I think there's moments where we tap into it. I think we all have moments of that, of tapping into where we have reactions that are good reactions and responses that are good responses that are quick. I think the counterpart to those people, to having a quick response, is having a good delayed reaction, like knowing how to delay a reaction, which is what? Self-control. So again, it all, kind of connects, and it all kind of goes into some of those things that we can talk about another time on another episode with like the spiritual components of like the self-awareness, discernment, all that stuff. We can go real deep into that. But anyway, so that is kind of what our thoughts are in terms of, this conversation, why we think it's important. I would challenge and encourage you to practice self-awareness this week when having conversations with your boss, your coworkers, friends, family, your significant other, like about having that awareness of like, am I reacting? Am I responding? Bless you.
Thank you.
Am I doing it right? Am I doing it well? All those things, like all the things we talked about today, like really internalize that and ask yourself kind of where you land and where you need growth, because you do, because we all do.
And
we
always
all
encourage
do.
y'all to like look into the things you may have questions about that maybe we didn't answer, or if you're just curious. I think fight, flight, fawn, or freeze is a great thing to like study and know. It's helpful in relationships. It's helpful in life in general.
Oh yeah.
And like helps you understand yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
It's very helpful.
Awesome. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna shift gears and end off on a fun note. We're gonna try to end off these new next couple of episodes and whatnot with some of the fun kind of questions that you guys send us that are a little bit more faster responses. Faster reactions rather than these long thought out conversations. So they're kind of fun. All right. Keep sending us some of these, please. More of these. These are really fun. So first one is, what's a book everyone should read that's not the Bible? Excluding the Bible, what's a book anyone and everyone should read?
If you know me, you know I don't read.
Yeah, but you do. You do.
Barely. A book that everyone should read. Okay, I'm going to give you the answer that first came to my head. The Giving Tree.
Ooh, it's my favorite
book. It's one of my favorite books. I think it's a good life lesson in there. The other book, just because I love it, is the BFG. My favorite book. I've read it many a times. I quote it. I love it. Obsessed with anything Roald Dahl. Anything he wrote, I think, is cool. That's just because I like reading those. Yeah. For like for growth, or like I guess an adult book. I gave y'all both kid books. An adult book. I think one that really helped me was Crazy Love by Francis Chan.
Ooh.
I've read that book. I've reread that book. I've gifted that book. I love that book.
Yeah.
I'll buy it when I see it because I know one day I'll give it away.
It's a good one.
One of my favorite books. I think it helped me understand God at a more personal level in simpler terms. I feel like he's very good at explaining it simple and putting it very real to you in the way that he describes God, and like it's a hard concept to grasp.
It's a great book though.
I struggled with it, and I think someone recommended it to me, and now I recommend it to everyone. And if you get the chance, read it. Get the workbook. I think the workbook also it ties along very beautifully. Yeah. And if you're someone who doesn't like to read or struggles, just because like I don't have a very high reading comprehension, is why I don't like to read.
Yeah.
So the workbook helped me to understand more of what was actually written, and then also helps me to like actually apply it to myself. So I'd say that book.
That's good. Yeah. I literally had one and I forgot about it just now. Well, okay, so kind of a cop-out answer, but not really. I mean, anything C.S. Lewis, I love. My personal favorite ones, well, one of my favorites is Screw Tape Letters.
I know.
Just because I relate to it a lot. It was really helpful during my mental health journey. For sure. I mean, The Great Divorce, all those just...
Yeah, they're all just good.
All of his
Mere Christianity.
Books. Oh, my gosh, so They're just great. Yeah. They're...
Chronicles of Narnia. Oh,
yeah, I mean, they're good because they're not the Bible, but they're good... They're just really good supplemental literature that you can have, that just helps you understand and kind of with your walk with, life and God. Man, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of like non-Christian books and things, which I have read, but I'm trying to think of like the ones that have impacted me the most. I mean, I don't know. I read a lot of, I was addicted to anything mythology. So like Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Norse mythology. I mean, I loved reading specifically like, Plato and Aristotle. So like the Iliad, Odyssey, love those. They're just, I don't know. I really like those writings, and, some people may be like, but it's just really beautiful to see the human mind and how it can create concepts and stories. Like mythology is literally creating stories and creating things, and which they're all, interestingly enough, point back to the to the Bible and the God, and you'll find that there's a lot of allusions to it.
Yeah.
But anything anime, AOT, stuff like that, Attack on Titan, things like that. Anyway, but yeah, there's a lot more books we have. This is kind of like in the moment. I've read a lot of
poetry books. Not like classic. So
yeah,
I'm not classic like that.
Yeah, you did read a lot of those. Actually.
I did.
Yeah.
I read a lot of R.H. Sin, so he's good.
All right. So the second question: if I were to give you $1,000, what would you buy?
Nothing. I'm paying bills.
Nothing. Okay, but that's like the grown-up answer. That's a boring answer.
But I'm a grown-up now. Even though I just pay.
If you didn't have to pay for bills, what would you buy?
If I didn't have to pay bills and I had $1,000, ugh, that's tough because I want to buy a lot of stuff. Whatever's in my Amazon cart right now. That's probably what I would pay. Whatever's in my Amazon cart. Okay. I would just finally just hit after months of accumulating things I'd hoped and dreamt for and aspired for. I would just hit place order.
That would be great. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Would it be $1,000?
Probably
less.
There's stuff in there for you, so don't be like she has so much stuff in her Amazon cart. No,
it is a family.
There's more
Amazon.
stuff in there that benefits you than is just for me. I don't even buy stuff for myself. I buy stuff for the house so that we can both collectively enjoy. Well, I don't know what the last thing I bought myself was, but I know what the last thing you bought yourself was.
What was the last?
You bought yourself them slides.
Yeah, that wasn't Amazon.
Yeah, but
this is Crocs, Salehe Bembury.
Yeah, but you bought yourself those. What did I buy myself?
I did. I don't know.
Tell me what
myself. Did you? What was the last thing you bought on Amazon?
I haven't bought anything on Amazon.
What was the last?
I think the last order I placed was for like podcast stuff.
Probably these lights, huh? I think so.
Yeah. So that's not for me.
Yeah.
But if I had to buy something now, I don't know. I'm not
$1,000. I can literally tell you right now what you would probably buy.
What?
A better espresso machine.
But it's not gonna buy me that. Like, it's not gonna buy me what I want. I guess it could if it's like open box on sale.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. I thought about that actually. Yeah. That was my immediate first thought.
I know.
But if you know me, you know that I am not very good at spending on myself.
That's true. She would love to spend on others before she spends on herself.
Correct.
It is a great quality. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What'd you buy?
I
know what you would buy.
I mean, I wouldn't really pay for it. It would not. It definitely would not pay for it, but it would give me a chunk. I would buy a Gretsch Gold Falcon.
I knew that'd be the answer.
Yeah, but that is not $1,000. I wish it was $1,000, but it is not.
What is it? Like, how much is it?
I mean, they go from 25 to 45. Yeah, depends. If you guys want to sew into my life,
if you don't stop right,
my birthday is December 26th.
Oh my God.
I will be putting a GoFundMe to get a brand new Gold Falcon. I would not do that. But if you do somehow, some way,
if you find yourself
absolutely,
wanting
I would love it.
Needing to, and desiring to.
Next one. What are your least favorite household chores? I already know this one.
Okay, you say mine, I'll say yours.
Okay, well, you absolutely abhor and hate doing the dishes.
Let's go.
You hate it, but it works out because she cooks and I do the dishes.
Correct.
So. I'm interested to see if you know mine because I don't even think I know mine. Truthfully.
I don't even think you know yours either.
What do you think it is?
I think laundry.
No.
I know one because you don't do it.
What?
No, I'm not gonna say it.
What?
I'm not gonna expose you. Like that. I'm gonna protect your image.
Okay, but what chore though is like the one I would hate?
That you hate?
Yeah.
Cleaning the bathroom.
Nope.
I don't think that you hate things. No. I just think you're lazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't enjoy that household chore.
Nobody enjoys chores. Oh, well, some people do.
Yeah, some people
They've made a career out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. That one I don't like. Yeah, that's probably the one I looked forward to least. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you hate it.
Yeah, because I mean, I actually really enjoy cleaning the house.
Yeah.
I do it every week and stuff.
I pull up and he's like cleaning, and it's like.
Yeah, I mean, I go hard cleaning the house. Those of you guys who come to community night and coffee with friends.
No, that's what's happening.
That's all me.
Behind the
I'm just
scenes.
kidding. It's not all me.
That's not.
She does it too, but I do love cleaning the house. I actually do like cleaning the house.
He is home a lot more than I am.
Yeah, I like cleaning the house. Favorite hobbies outside. This is so funny because the person who said this, you know who you are. Favorite hobbies outside of church, music, and coffee. So you really want to know what we do outside of that.
True.
Man.
First of all, let's talk about this. Is church a hobby?
I mean, I guess it can be. I mean, sure.
I'm sure it was just so he couldn't be like.
No. They said
they were
that
just eliminating the
so
option.
that we wouldn't say well, we go to church and music and coffee. No,
it's so like.
What are our hobbies outside of that?
All the three elements that make of who I am.
That is our Trinity. Is that? Yeah.
Sorry, you first. I keep going first.
I think I know what yours is.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like printing and I Love You Please Stay. That's a big hobby of yours. Like, again, would you consider that a job? I don't know. But it's a hobby. I would say you like doing that. You like photography. Like you like all those things. Like when we do have those moments, random moments where we do that. But man, for me, hobby. I mean, honestly, right now, recently, it's been going to the gym. Yeah. Like, I actually love going to the gym. I go for like 2 hours. I go. They ain't ready for that yet.
Show them a little.
I actually really enjoy it. Like I've been going a lot. That's like my new hobby.
He's been into it.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I'm not a gym bro yet, but
yeah,
I'm into it.
Yeah.
That's probably my one.
I enjoy
it. Before that one,
I just don't. I feel like I have enough time.
Yeah. I mean,
to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess I could wake up earlier, but let's be real. Nobody wants to do that. Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit mine in the head.
Yeah, I think
like
it's printing. That one, right? Yeah, printing. And
I like anything that's like hard work.
You haven't done writing in a minute. I was going to say that too.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Maybe one day. Even painting too. You haven't painted in a long time.
I'm going to paint soon. It's in the
another one that a hobby you want to get into is pottery.
That's
I would love for us to get
if anybody got a pottery hookup, let me know.
The most expensive part is the furnace.
Yeah, the kiln.
The kiln, yeah.
They exist, but you just gotta find places.
Okay,
I feel like you didn't talk about you're into fashion.
Yeah,
you like design.
Yeah, well, I used to make my own clothes, like actually make my own clothes, but back in the day.
You dabble in
every
the fashions.
Every now and then.
You get like little splurts.
Yeah.
Of like.
Yeah, it comes out every now and then, but I was gonna say the one before that was skating. Those of you y'all some of y'all don't know this, but I actually used to skate. Like,
some of y'all don't know that I used to skate too.
Yeah, you actually got into it when
I was into it before.
But I got you. We got into it in Dallas.
We refreshed it.
Yeah.
We came back.
But that was a big hobby.
I was more of a bike girl.
Yes, like
I was
BMX.
Definitely more bike girly.
BMX. I thought I said DMX. BMX. Yeah. Okay, last two questions, little fun ones here, of course, are cats versus dogs. This one,
to know me is to know.
This one's hard now for me. Now that we have a cat.
See, look, this is like God is good. God is so good because we weren't allowed to have pets growing up. Like we just didn't. We had a dog, but it was my uncle's, so it doesn't count. And he was an outside dog. But in my early 20s, I became a cat girl.
Yeah.
Big cat girl.
Yeah.
Had a cat. Cat went feral. R.I.P. Gideon.
R.I.P. Gideon, yeah.
R.I.P. Giddy. My first cat. And then we got married, and I really wanted a cat, and Sam was like, no.
I hated cats prior.
They're disgusting. They're everything. Everywhere I go, when I go clean with my dad.
Yeah.
It's all cat pee and cat poo.
Yes,
which, okay.
Yes.
But
when I used to work with my stepdad,
different. And I would, this was my argument forever. And I was like, give me a cat. He's like, no, not going to get a cat. So guess what? I got a dog.
We got
and
two.
Then, we got a dog. And then I still wanted a cat. And so what did I do? We got another dog. And then he said I could have a cat when we moved into a house. And so I vouched and fought for us to move into a house, and we got a house. And then a month later, I was like, "Where's my cat?" and I got my cat.
Yeah.
Shout out Suki dog. Yeah, that's Suki, my girl. Yeah.
I mean,
I love my dogs.
Oh yeah, of course.
Suki girl.
Yeah.
We have a special bond.
Yeah, she's cute. She's cute. Yeah, I mean, I used to hate cats. Ever since we got Suki, I love her, and I love both. But yeah, I've always been a dog guy.
Yeah, he's a dog guy.
Austin and Ren will always have a special place in my heart.
Austin and Ren will always be special. And you don't see Suki out here because she's a menace.
Yeah,
and she's in the room. All the cables, and it's just not.
And we put the girls outside because they were going crazy. You probably will hear them. I'll try my best to take them out, but
you're gonna hear them.
You'll probably hear them in the pod whining. It's actually Austin whining. So.
It's always her.
Yeah. Anyway, last one to end off the pod. Is a skill or ability you wish you had?
You go first.
I don't know. Well, first off, I would say to be the best at what I already do.
No, that's not a skill. But something that you don't have because you have.
Again, it's exactly that's things I have. So I'm not gonna be like music or like whatever. But I will say that an ability I wish I had would be, there's this thing, some of you may know it. It's called synesthesia. It's the ability to see sound and color and images. I wish I had that.
Oh, you made this like this.
I wish I had that. It's an ability.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like something you can go and just like pick up.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a skill and ability that you wish you had.
You just Googled it.
I already know. I've always wanted synesthesia.
Yeah, but that's not like...
That's an ability that I can't get.
You can go to school and learn that?
No. Okay. Like, you're born with it. That's
okay, see, that's not... But, like, that doesn't... I guess
but that's the point of the question. It's a skill and ability I wish I had. Yeah, I wish
that doesn't count. I feel like you have to give a realistic... like an honest, real one that you could, like, apply yourself and, like, learn... Or like I won't like don't
because I thought
I wish I could walk through walls like.
Well, I mean that's kind of the way I see the question. Yeah, I'm like, if it's a skill or ability I wish I had,
no, that's not. That. This isn't what superpower you wish you had. This ain't Marvel.
I mean, I don't know, like a practical one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, probably.
I'll tell you which one I wish you had.
Oh man, do I wonder what that one is?
I'll tell you which one.
I don't know. I mean,
I'll tell you right now. I'm scared.
I don't know. Probably the ability. Probably the ability to shut up. Just stop talking so much.
That's like synesthesia. It's not possible.
I'll be like the opposite.
It's not gonna happen.
I was gonna say a joke, but it would be way too bad. I'll say it offline.
Okay.
Of like the opposite of synesthesia.
Oh no! No, stop.
I'm just gonna type it out and show you. This is our life, guys.
I already knew it. I knew that.
Those of y'all who know me,
you
probably know what I said. I don't know. I don't know. A skill or I don't know. Like,
I wish
probably
you
something
had
cool, like physical. I mean, like the Olympics are going on right now. Like, I don't know, being like a superhuman, which is possible because these guys are superhumans. But I don't know. I mean. Oh my God. I'm thinking like outside the box. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like something crazy.
Yeah, it's okay. But give the crazy one. Give like a realistic, practical one.
That was better. Okay, well, I guess I wish I was okay. Well, I wish I was better at numbers and like stuff like that. Weird. Like that, like the skill. Because I suck.
Yeah, you're bad.
At like I hate math. I hate anything administrative. I hate it. So like having that type of ability and skill of just being good with that, like I suck at that. Like I'm great at a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah,
I suck
numbers
at that.
are not it. He's bad.
Hate numbers. I hate like admin stuff. Like could never be an accountant. Could never be none of that.
What's the ability you wish I had?
I don't know. There's a lot.
Just pick one.
No. I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't know.
Just say it. You think we're gonna fight?
No, because I'm just like, because if I were to wish you had an ability that you don't have, that you don't currently possess, that would mean that I have a desire for you to be something that I want you to be and not who you already are.
No, you went. Wasn't that deep?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not about
wasn't
that.
Deep.
I know the question.
I'm not.
No, I don't know. Okay.
No, it wasn't that deep.
I'll give you one. The ability to like. I think you already know. The ability to put your socks in the hamper and not all over the house. I will find socks everywhere.
It's toys for the dogs.
I'll find them in places that they should not belong.
I think there's one on the dining table.
Yes, there's probably one in the. There's probably one in the refrigerator.
No, there's not. Don't say that. People are gonna stop coming over. That's wrong.
Okay. Anyway, an ability you wish you had.
Ability I wish I had. I wish I had the.
I was gonna say something bad.
What were you gonna say?
So you wish you were taller?
I knew the moment I put my legs up.
That's why.
That's what you thought.
The ability for her feet to touch the ground, because she literally hates that.
That would be so nice.
She's like, I don't want to sit here. I'm like, why? My feet don't touch the ground. I'm like,
don't.
Dog.
That's a short people problem. Okay, it's real. It's real. That's a good one. I hadn't thought of it, but I wish I had the ability to be tall. A skill I wish I had. I wish I could play piano. I can't play it. I can tell what's on there, but I don't have I'm not like, I can't do that. I'm not good at it. I wish I was. I think it would be so fun. I think it would complement, your music. Another ability I wish I had was to like be in his songs.
Oh my gosh. She's on the next
barely.
one.
When it's going to release, we don't know.
This month.
Maybe never. Who knows? Next month?
This month.
It's
August.
still July.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, technically this is going to release on the 1st.
Yeah.
So, this month.
Yeah,
you're right.
August.
An ability that I wish I had. I think I just want to I do play instruments, but I want to play piano.
Okay, but something a little bit more outside of
more outside.
Yeah.
More outside. I wish I could work on cars.
Yeah, if it's actually something
That's
y'all
something I
don't
really
know
want.
this, but Xiomi always wanted to work on cars
to this day.
Stuff like that.
I wish I could work on cars. I think just in general mechanics really excite me.
Maybe you'll tell them the story of when you lived out in Palmdale and were Furiosa out in the Mad Max Fury roads of the high desert of Palmdale.
But
she low-key was...
I did run my block. Don't come for me.
Okay. That's a good one.
Be a mechanic, work on cars. It just... it just makes me excited.
Those of you who do,
I like building things and pulling stuff apart.
Okay. So. It's a good one.
An ability I wish you had was the ability to cook. I'd be tired.
I really wish I had that too. I really do wish I had that too.
I'm not a good teacher to him.
I love it to me.
To you. My patience is thin. It just is what it is. My patience with you is you know how thin it is? It's like those, those streamers, those party streamers. You know what? No. 1-ply toilet paper is how thin my patience
is diabolical.
Can get there.
But honestly, her in the kitchen, that's her domain. She has very low patience for people in the kitchen. That's
I don't like it
when people are there. When people are trying to help you.
If we're sitting around and you want to learn how to do something, different mindset. If you're asking me to prepare a meal, step out the way. If you're asking me to teach you how to do something, I can do that. It's just different. Look, if you're married, you know that teaching your significant or dating or whatever, that teaching your significant other something is like 10 times more infuriating than like teaching a friend or someone you don't know, because oh my gosh, like just even different. Watching him cut a fruit drives me. I have to leave the room. If I'm either stepping away to where I can't see, or I'm taking over. Like, you're wrong. Let me do this right, y'all. I've seen him cut a mango.
Hey, it's my way.
Embarrassing.
It's my way.
Embarrassing.
My way or the highway. As long as it goes down the hatch, then it's good for me. That's a good one, though. I wish I had that. I wish I had that ability too. Yeah, I wish I had the ability to cook like her. Really,
I actually really enjoy preparing our meals.
You're not about to right now. You're not.
Only because I wanted to go to the gym, but it's too late.
Yeah.
Because I had to go to Costco. I had to go to. Anyways. I was trying to be strong.
We live to fight another day.
I fight to live. I'm fighting to live another day.
Oh my god.
Maybe I'll go in the morning.
That is real. Oh yeah.
Wash my hair.
Maybe do it in the morning.
Maybe I'll do it in the morning.
All right. Well, this is a good pod, a fun one. We hope you guys enjoyed it. And we will be back next week with episode 13.
13, that's my favorite number. So
not because of Taylor Swift.
13. No,
not because of Taylor Swift. We are a non-Taylor Swift house. And if you do not like that, and if you want to fight us,
I'll squab.
Let's fight.
I'll square up.
No, but yeah.
We're not a Taylor Swift house. We might be Billie Eilish. I like her.
Yeah. But yeah, so episode 13 next week. It's gonna be great. Love you guys. Coffee with Friends is coming up soon.
Keep your ears open, your eyes peeled, your mouth shut, and your body's in our house. August 24th.
Yeah,
that's when it's gonna be. But be on the lookout. We're gonna be releasing a couple of different things, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I've put a lot behind, so I'm gonna have a lot of long nights. I think we both. He waits for me, so it's very nice of him.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited. It's gonna be really good. Have a lot of special stuff prepared. And if you are a Coffee with Friends watcher on the tube or on the Spotify, you might catch a glimpse of some previews. Yeah. Just to keep you all interested.
Yeah. All right. Well, without further ado, hit us with the outro.
Yep. Have fun.
Have fun.
Go live your best life.
Go live your best life.
And go get coffee with friends.
We will see y'all next week. Take it easy. Love you guys.